More than 200 years ago, it was known that small animal parasites were associated with and were the cause of certain diseases. And it soon came to be generally believed that all of our ills were in some way caused by such parasites, known or unknown. At first, the parasitic worms and other large parasites were known, but later it was discovered that many of the protozoa and minute plant parasites, the bacteria, also caused many diseases. Today, we know definitely that such diseases as typhoid, cholera, tuberculosis, and many others are caused by the presence of bacteria in the body, and that such maladies as malaria, sleeping sickness, syphilis, and many other fevers are caused by protozoa. Then there is a long list of other epidemic diseases such as smallpox, measles, and scarlet fever, the exact causes of which have not been determined. Many of these are believed to be due to microorganisms of some kind, and if so, these parasites will almost certainly sooner or later will be found. Curiously enough, most of the diseases in the last class and many of those that are caused by bacteria are contagious, while all that are caused by animal parasites are, as far as known, infectious but not contagious. It is important that we keep in mind this distinction. By contagious diseases are meant those which are transmitted by contact with the diseased person, by touch or by the breath, or that the effluvia from the body, or by the use of the same articles. Smallpox, measles, and influenza are examples of this group. By infectious diseases are meant those which are disseminated by contaminated water or food or other infected substances introduced into the body in some way. Typhoid, malaria, yellow fever, and cholera and others are examples of this class. This is evident that all of the contagious diseases may be infectious, but most of the infectious diseases are not, as a rule, contagious, although some of them may become so under favorable conditions. Just one example will show how important of knowing whether a disease is contagious or infectious. Until a few years ago, it was believed that yellow fever was highly contagious, and every precaution was taken to keep the disease from spreading by keeping the infected region of strict quarantine. This meant much hardship and suffering, and always a great financial loss. We now know that this is infectious only and not contagious, and that all this quarantine was unnecessary. The whole fight in controlling an outbreak of yellow fever in preventing such an outbreak is now directed against the mosquito, the sole agent by which the disease can be transmitted from one person to another. Definition of a parasite. A parasite is a living organism that lives in or on some other organism from which it derives its nourishment for the whole or part of its existence. As a general thing, we are accustomed to think of a parasite as working more or less injury to its host. As a matter of fact, the number of parasitic organisms that are seriously detrimental to the welfare of its hosts is comparatively small, while the number of parasites that do no appreciable harm and of whose existence in the body of the host is often not even aware is large.